there. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So glad that you are here. Now we've got a few stories to cover this evening because this is going to be my last video actually for the evening. So I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to be covering quite a few in the gamut in here. So we're just going to sit back and relax and go through it. Of course, I definitely want to know your thoughts about these stories and your sharing. So make sure that you're leaving your comments, respectable comments down in the comment section so we can kind of chat about it. All right, so we are going to be talking about Michael Ealy and the hug with Megan Good seen around the world. This has gotten a lot of footage and coverage around, so I'm really curious to know your thoughts and how you feel things really were going on behind the scenes when it came to that situation, because it pretty much just blew up everywhere. And then we're also going to be talking about Rihanna's favorite model, Slick Woods, and she's sharing a bit of an update to her particular health situation that she is going through. We're also going to be covering, Peppa from Salt and Peppa apparently got kicked off of a Southwest airline. Yeah, I did a video sometime last year where another individual, I think it was one of the Wayans brothers, that actually had the same thing happen to him. So here we go again. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Latoya Luckett, and she's sharing a bit of some, I guess, intriguing information that we didn't know about her transition from Destiny's Child to being a soul artist. So let's go ahead and get into the very first sharing here. And that is the hug heard and seen, well, more like seen around the world. Now, according to Newsbreak and Vibe and everywhere else, Michael Ealy hugging Megan Good while seemingly ignoring Jonathan Majors has fans in a frenzy. Now, Michael Ealy may be living up to his sensationalized depiction of being a menace after all, which I didn't know that was a thing for him, but you let me know if you've heard of that. Now, on Wednesday, apparently on July 10th, Ealy and his former work wife, Megan Good, linked up at the Power Players Mix and Mingle event in Los Angeles, and their playful hug was has the internet buzzing. It did at the time, and I think it's kind of dying down quite a bit now. Now, the blue-eyed heartthrob had picked Good off the ground and almost swung her around as she stood next to her boyfriend, Jonathan Majors. In the viral video, Ealy has seemingly ignored Majors before dapping up rapper D Smoke and his wife, Sherry. The group then posed for a photo. After garnering over nearly 5 million views on Twitter, fans had a field day. Picking up another man's girlfriend in his face is crazy. Michael really lived his roles, laughing my butt off. A true menace, one tweeted. Another commented, lifting another man's girl right in front of his face and not even dapping him up afterwards is diabolical. And laughing my behind off again. Michael Ealy really just like the characters he be playing on TV. Elsewhere, someone joked she had to hold her hat down from flying off her head. Bro took her on a ride in front of her man. Whee! One person even comically praised Ealy's move, replying, "Dog picked his girl up, squeezed her extra tight in a hug, made her squeal with glee, and didn't even dap the man up. He is so real." And for many, it remained them for a skit for Drewski, where his girlfriend hugged her male, reminded them of a skit from Drewski, where his girlfriend hugged her male best friend as he watched and held her purse. Others felt Ealy's hug was disrespectful and maybe a trigger for Major's alleged abusive behavior or abusive nature. One tweeted, "I get why y'all find this funny, but we know that man is a abuser, and we know how people like that are when they feel embarrassed. I really wish he wouldn't have done that." Now, of course, in the full video, though, it was briefly shown that Ealy and Majors did acknowledge one another before the Power Book 2 Ghost star bear hugs his longtime friend. And let's not forget that Ealy is a happily married man as well. Now, this was quite a controversial conversation. It still is in some of the circles that I'm in as well. We still talk about it, laugh about it, or, say our thoughts about it. I saw the video with, like, I'm sure most people have, and I felt a little like, ooh, okay, if I was Michael Ealy's wife, I don't know how I would feel about it either. I don't know. I did just remember that, Michael Ealy and Megan Good not only did Think Like a Man together, they also were a couple, and I think it was Cold Creek Manor. Is that right? And that was a really good movie. And they did a really good job, and so I assume that they're just really, really good friends. They've worked a lot together, they're in the business together. But I don't know, I can see both sides on this. Personally, I probably would have thought it was a little bit too much. Okay, let's just be honest, it was a little bit too much for me. Some individuals would say, hey, it's no big deal, it's fine, it's great. But I would have to say, if that's the point, how would you feel if it happened to you? I don't know if you would feel so great about it. Now, I like Michael Ealy, and I really don't have anything really much against Jonathan Majors either, other than knowing, the things that took place. But, there's a lot of thoughts about that as well. So I don't want to get into that for this video. But, at the end of the day, I think it was probably very challenging for Jonathan to see that. You kind of see his look on his face, even in this photo here, that he's kind of like checking around, like, what up, dude? I mean, like, what's going on here? Okay, what's up? So I would imagine that it probably threw Jonathan for a loop, because it's not something you see very often. But obviously, Michael Ealy is extremely comfortable with those he considers friends. I felt that maybe he was just so super excited to see her. He hadn't seen her in a while. And obviously, because of all the years of them working together off and on, they've obviously built a budding relationship. I've never heard of anything that was scandalous about Michael Ealy. I think this is about the most scandalous I've seen. So I was kind of laughing about the menace thing. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. Do you think it was inappropriate? Do you think this was disrespectful to either one? Or do you think it was just, look, they're just friends, they're cool, and it's no big deal? I'd love to know your thoughts below. For me, I'm a little like, because there's some places in this situation where I feel like, yeah, it was a little much. I don't think it was intended to be disrespectful. I just think it was a little much. And as far as the video is concerned, I think the one that seemed to go viral mostly was the one that cut off the part that he had actually already addressed and acknowledged Jonathan Majors. So it really added more to that narrative. But if you saw the full scale of it, would you have felt the same way? And from what I understand from the video, that it does show that they did acknowledge each other, and Michael did, do all of that before this, gleeful hello for Megan. So definitely want to know your thoughts below about that. Drop it down in the comment section. And let's go ahead and move on to the next story. We are talking about Rihanna's favorite model, Slick Woods, and you may be familiar with her in this settings of modeling. Beautiful girl. I was actually introduced to her by watching Love and Hip Hop. She was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood for a few episodes and just seemed like a real beautiful spirit. And basically, she is sharing a very personal situation here. Basically, she has stopped treating her late-stage melanoma, but she says she can't complain and embraces the shaved head at Paris Fashion Week. And this story is coming from SurvivorNet.com. So let's get into it. Slick Woods, who went from being a homeless teen on the streets of Los Angeles to iconic singer Rihanna's favorite model, is continuing to impress her fans and living life to the fullest after being diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma, a type of skin cancer. The 27-year-old model, who found out she was battling late-stage melanoma, a type of skin cancer, 5 years ago, and isn't letting cancer stop her from doing what she loves. She was photographed in some stylish outfits at the Haute Couture Week in Paris, France, between June 24th and 27th. She took to Instagram to share some of her favorite photos from the event, capturing her post. Slick Woods loves Paris Fashion Week and praising creative director and stylist Kyo Gino for styling her. Her post prompted fans to flood her comments and section with praise, with some calling her perfect and others simply saying, wow. However, that's not the only thing she's been up to. On July 1st, Woods had revealed some more new modeling photos, as she had been featured in the Chris Alexander SS25 campaign. She also shared some more images of her appearing to be enjoying life while wearing fashionable clothing, drinking white wine, and being photographed near a rainbow. Woods was even featured in a True Religion clothing advertisement on social media in a post which read, "Pride is everything. We're all about celebrating self-expression and being true to you with at Slick Woods." Fearless and bold, Slick takes risk in life and fashion, effortlessly mixing streetwear with high fashion. She inspires us to all embrace our true selves through our style choices. In celebration of Pride Month, we're donating a percentage of sales on select styles to the LGBT Center. So that's all her posting there if you're interested. Her recent modeling gigs come just months after Woods shared a selfie of herself smiling alongside the caption, "Can't complain today." So we imagine she's been feeling great despite living with the late stage melanoma. Woods was born at Simone Thompson, has previously modeled for Marc Jacobs, Calvin Klein, UGG, and Moschino. Jump-started her career in modeling and acting when British Ash stylists found her at Bus Stop, where Woods was struggling homelessness and addiction. Once she got settled into her modeling career, her world was rocked in July of 2019 when her dentist discovered some suspicious spots in her mouth during a routine appointment. After sample results returned, she was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma. It's unclear what the status of her cancer is today, as she chose to stop getting chemotherapy treatment at the start of 2021. Woods has a son named Sapphire, whom she gave birth to in September 2018, and co-parents with fellow model Adonis Basso. Previously told CNN that she had chosen to stop chemotherapy for stage 3 melanoma after treatment left her with severe nerve damage, neuropathy. That and landed her in a wheelchair for a bit of time. A 2019 Instagram video showed Woods in her wheelchair. The caption had read, "Legs numb, left hand still numb," and basically she hated those circumstances. She went through one round of chemo, which she called gruesome, adding, "It's just not something I wish on anyone. I just got sicker and I got weaker," she told CNN. Treatment for Woods' stage of melanoma, which had spread to the lymph nodes, usually begins with surgery to remove the original tumor. From there, doctors give immunotherapy or targeted therapy to reduce the odds that the cancer will come back. Patients with stage 3 disease probably have a 50-50 chance of being okay with just a surgical research. Dr. Anna Pavlik, and this is according to her. Now, she also states that medical oncologist at Weill Cornell Medicine that she had told Survivor Net in an earlier interview. However, we now have brand new medicines or immunotherapy medicines that could significantly reduce the risk of it ever coming back, which is very good to know. It's not clear what other treatments Woods has had or why she received chemotherapy. It's important to know that without treatment, melanoma can eventually be fatal. So hopefully Woods has found another treatment option that works for her. Woods told CNN that she wanted to spend most of her focus on her son and charity work, distributing resources to the homeless in LA's notorious Skid Row community. She says, "I just want to get to the point where I can dedicate my life completely to this project that me and my business partner, Ty Savet, have started." And of course, the survivors.net does share more information in regards to a melanoma and the cancer of melanoma. And so if you're interested, I will have that information down below. Now, wow. I mean, when I read this story, I just felt, how brave that she is, being a mother and going through such a horrific circumstance, but really trying to live every day to the fullest, trying to really put in her efforts in the ways that it matters and it counts. She's clearly doing what she loves to do with modeling. She has obviously lots of accolades surrounding that, and she's very well sought after. And she just really seemed, like I said, when I saw her on the show of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, it was a few years ago, she just seemed like a very sweet person, right? Just sweet soul, very, really just a sweet person altogether. And I enjoyed watching her. She brought some calm to the show. Let's put it that way, because there's not a lot of calm on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So she did bring some peace in that. And so my heart definitely goes out to her, and my thoughts do as well. Definitely am rooting for her and wishing her well, for her and her family, and just, being able to continue to live life in the ways that she wishes to do so. And I think that it's really beautiful that she has shared her story, and the vulnerability of sharing her story to others for them to also be aware of, and also inspires them to do what they need to do that's best for their situation, and to get the information, and sought out help when needed for these types of things, or anything for that matter that you may be going through. But in particular, there's a lot that some of us don't know about this particular cancer, and I think it's really important for the awareness to go out and just get yourself familiar with it, as amongst all the other issues as well. But I think it's definitely important to do that, and I feel like her sharing her story is going to be a help to so many people. So I appreciate it that she had shared that vulnerability. She did it on CNN apparently, which gets a lot of eyeballs. So yeah, a lot of people have been able to hear her story, and I'm so glad that she was able to share that. And I do again wish her well, and blessings to her. And yeah, definitely leave your thoughts below in the comment section. So let's go ahead and move on to the next sharing. And that is moving on to Salt and Peppa in particular, or Sandra, whichever one. Yeah, I was just like, what, when I saw this story? But according to Newsbreak.com and Parade.com, it shares that 90s hitmaker was kicked off a Southwest flight after airline reportedly deems her a safety risk. Did you hear about this? If you did, drop it down below for me and tell me your thoughts while you're at it. It's been a long time since Sandra Peppa Denton was at the center of controversy, but the Salt and Pepper star is in the headlines again. The 90s rapper was removed from a Southwest Airlines flight, apparently on July 15th, when the crew decided she was a safety risk to her fellow passengers, as Denton told TMZ Hip Hop. The rap icon also taken a direct flight from Las Vegas to Nashville for a meeting, having paid for 2 seats because of a knee injury she had sustained in a 2018 car crash. However, once she was on the plane, a flight attendant had told her she couldn't use both seats because she wasn't in a cast, despite having a knee brace. But if you paid for both seats, I don't understand what the issue is here. You paid for them, right? I believe that's what it said. She paid for 2 seats. So why was there a problem here? All right. After having a conversation, the FAA relented and said Denton could use both seats until a man arrived and asked for one of the seats, claiming he was on his way to a funeral. A discussion had ensued, with other passengers joining in, and Denton explained that when she asked the man to swear that he was really headed to a funeral, he had refused, yet ended up with that seat anyway. Now, Denton had called her assistant, who suggested she record the incident, but soon after, she was removed from the plane. Southwest says it was because she was recording, but according to Denton, she never actually recorded anything. The airline also claims that Denton didn't respond to the instructions of crew members and that they didn't allow her to board for the safety and comfort of other passengers. Denton states that they tried to move her to the emergency bulkhead aisle, but she declined as her boarding passes were marked disabled, and she wouldn't have been able to assist in the event of an emergency. According to the outlet, Southwest reimbursed Denton $2,500 for the cost of the 2 tickets, though the rapper still paid $300 for the services of a wheelchair greeter and $500 for a car service that she wasn't able to use. She says she'll be exploring her legal options. Denton posted a video talking to Southwest Airlines employees on Instagram where fans showed their support. They said, "I can't believe Southwest Air kicked me off the plane today. Wow, Southwest." She captioned the video, mentioning in the clip that other passengers said they would write a letter complaining about the incident on her behalf. Sounds like they just made up whatever excuse they could, one user wrote, as someone else suggested, call your lawyer. Now, I thought, again, this was just quite an interesting story. I felt really bad that this even happened. And again, why did it have to happen? Why couldn't there have been something else done? Why does everything always have to be on 10 in every situation, it seems like? And people just need to calm down. But let me know your thoughts below. I don't know what exactly was the issue, but I guess at the end they're saying it was because she was recording. People record all the time. That's how we get the footage. So I'm really surprised that would be even what was put out there, but it definitely was the easiest thing to put out there, and it was the fastest thing to say. So I don't think we've heard much from Southwest yet. I'm going to probably keep an eye on this story, and if I see something of an update to it, I probably will bring it to the channel as well, just because I covered it initially. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts about that. I think it's unfortunate, obviously, but just really, I mean, she paid for 2 seats, so if this was going to be an issue, sometimes the problem with the overbooking on the airlines, and if you are work for the airlines, a stewardess or anything, you happen to be watching this video, I'd sure like to know how that works if you are familiar about that process with the overbooking, because was that the issue here? And at the end of the day, okay, that's becomes the issue of the airlines, not the actual customer. So, again, love to know your thoughts. Go ahead and drop those down below. She did say she was going to be exploring legal options, so we may see some further information, even if it's just a statement for Southwest, as far as where they stand on it. Maybe we'll see that if it's not already out somewhere. But that, let me know your thoughts below. And then we'll go ahead and move on to the next sharing. And that's going to be Latoya Luckett. I absolutely love Latoya Luckett. I think that she is just great. I think she's a great actress. I think she's a great singer. I enjoy pretty much all of the films and TV shows that she's done in the past. She's done quite a bit. She has quite a catalog, and both in the singing department as well as the acting. And, she just seems like an all-around cool person. So I was really intrigued about something that she had shared that she had dealt with. And, it's also seems very similar to a story of like SWV and what they share, how things happened when they transitioned from really being, in the limelight at this point, and then we're kind of, fading from the business at this point. So, but I thought, it was really nice of her to just share that, all roads to whatever you try to achieve in life is not always going to be easy. And even when you seemingly seem like you're on top. So let's get into this. Apparently, according to a sharing in urbanhollywood411.com, Latoya Luckett had shared that she had to sleep in her car during the transition from Destiny's Child to solo artist. Now, the singer and actress discusses her rise to fame as an original member of Destiny's Child and the challenges she had faced after being dropped from the group, along with former member Latoya Robinson in 2000. The transition from DC to becoming a solo artist was pretty difficult for me. I had been a part of that group for so long. It's all that I knew, Luckett says in a clip released by TV One. Now, Luckett, now 43, had recalled that she had turned on the radio in her hometown of Houston, and the host was talking about the breakup. She decided to leave Texas, but admits she couldn't escape media attention surrounding the legendary girl group. I went to Atlanta and started another group, she says. I remember I went to the movies with my friends, and Destiny's Child was on the front of the popcorn bag, Luckett says. Yeah, because Destiny's Child was everywhere. In another clip, the torn singer says she decided to focus on acting and went to New York to audition. At the time, she was struggling financially and didn't have money to stay in a hotel. She remained determined, stayed with a friend, and also slept in her car. I only had to sleep in my car. I remember like 2 nights, which thank God for that, right? And it was only 2 nights. That was during the time that I was auditioning for this movie called Preacher's Kid, which I remember that movie. It was actually a really good movie. If you've seen that one, drop it down below. I remember feeling like you have to get this. You can't go back home, she recalls. Luckett booked the lead role in 2010 film, and things began to look up. That movie changed my life, she says. Since then, Luckett has had parts in the acclaimed TV series Trim, as well as 4 Richer or Poor, Single Ladies, Ballers, and several films, including the upcoming Lifetime movie, I Thought My Husband and Wife Was Dead, uncensored. Now, apparently that has, I believe it probably aired on Lifetime already, but it's in that cycle, so it probably will do a duplicate airing soon. So if you haven't gotten a chance to catch it, make sure you definitely do, because I think it's probably pretty good. And it seems like I don't know if it's based off a true story or not, but it looks like it's good. I did see a little bit of advertisement for it, so I thought, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to catch that one. So yeah, I was quite surprised, but then maybe not so surprised, because they did go through a lot during their transition with the breakup, and it didn't always fare so well for some of them, right? And we've heard a little bit of their stories over the years. But But Latoya, she really did stay in the limelight to some degree, I guess, with the movies and stuff like that. And I thought that she transitioned well, not knowing that this was something she had to deal with behind the scenes. And it just goes to show you, not all things are easy to come by, right? Even when you are seemingly up at the top. So yeah, I'm so happy for her and how things have turned out for her. She has two beautiful children. She seems to be doing so well. I think she may be back in Houston again. I'm not 100% sure because she was in Atlanta for a little bit, but I think she made it back home. And yeah, wishing her the continued best through life and her career. I'll definitely be looking for this new movie. Yeah, let me know if you are. I may even recap and review it. Who knows? But yeah, let me know your thoughts below in the comment section about all these stories. I would love to know so we can communicate about that down below. And I am so glad that you are here. Hey, where does hey come from? I'm so glad that you are here to just hang out for a little bit. And yeah, if you are new here and you haven't subscribed yet, I hope that you will and become part of the family. I would so love to have you. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a like if you haven't already. I would truly appreciate it. And yeah, I think that again we'll do it for tonight. I do owe you a recap and review of episode 2 for the season's Real Housewives of Orange County. And I'm also going to do the review and recap and review for the third episode I just played this week as well. So I'll be covering both of those. They're both going to go out this weekend. That's the goal here. So definitely make sure you have your notification bell on so you don't miss it if you're interested. And I hope to see you then at that time. So yeah, with that, I will bid you adieu. I hope you have a great evening or day, whatever time that you're watching this video. And until next time, bye.